Yo, what's happening, my beautiful people? You are tuned into the Morning Smoke.
The Morning Smoke, baby.
Yo, Akeem, what's happening, my brother?
Not much, man. Trying to hold it in the road, man. Day great, life great, smoke great, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing like it, brother. So, this one thing I thought about, man. We in February, brother.
Mm-hmm.
What it means to you, man, to be black in America, brother?
Black in America, man. It's the most beautiful nightmare you come across. Nah, man, it's it really is. That's probably like the best way to describe it, man. Like it's a blessing. I mean, it's a blessing to be who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially representing the history that you have and you know, just understanding your future. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful, man. It's beautiful overall, man. It's challenging, which makes it just as much as rewarding, honestly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful, brother, man. Yeah, what you think, man?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I look at it as, you know, at first I think growing up, it was always a self-hate thing for me because of what I was told about, like, my history, my ancestors and things of that nature. And I was like, okay, we sold ourselves all that. We was taught in classrooms, like this happened and that happened. I'm like, man, wait, why would all people do that to ourselves? Like, we wrong for that. And then you start to take on the culture of people you really don't understand much about, and you knocking your own self. And that's why I looked at it for a long time until I finally became woke, my brother. And I don't know, man. It's just like being black now means so much to me. It's a powerful race of people, if you ask me. Ain't trying to make this a pro-black thing, brother, but
Let me ask you a very simple question.
all right.
What does being woke mean?
Being woke,
Yeah.
just I think it's always like self-discovery. Like, that's our whole ultimate goal in life anyway. Determine like who you are and like what do you bring, what contribution can you add to the world.
Based on race or beyond that?
I think that it starts with you though.
Okay.
It really starts with you. So once you become aware of that, like boom, like ain't no more self-hate. Like, bro, I'm a powerful person. I'm this, I'm that. And I think that joins together like-minded people, and you just become a people of like, are they woke? Because you know how some people will place labels on, oh, here Uncle Tom, he'll do whatever he want to do. He ain't got no love for his people and all this kind of stuff. They look at those people as being asleep. Those ones who don't really understand like the culture of all people. Like, you remember the meme, the dude on the phone, he trying to tell on the black people you're a black man. So he's like, yo, they would look at him as being asleep, like you going against the progression that black people trying to make. So those people who see how important it is to unify, how important it is to like really gel together, because like we've been targeted every single day. Those people who desire to do that are considered those ones woke. Now if you like that, like what's you heard? I know you heard it.
Obviously you woke. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? Now I've been hearing that phrase. Right. So I just never really knew what it truly meant. I mean, you kind of get a context clues and whatnot. Shout out to my 6th grade teacher. You know what I'm saying?
Who's your 6th grade teacher?
Up in Wills.
Oh, okay.
In Northern Wills. So
Taught you something, brother. You remember that?
you remember people that taught you things, man. Hopefully I learned that earlier. Missing public education, so
we late in the game.
Late, brother. Yeah, man. But yeah, I heard people just, you know what I'm saying, refer to it, but I don't really remember quite. I guess I had a conversation as to like what that really means, like, because there's a lot of different ways that people like delay progress. Sometimes another person's version of progress could delay another person's progress. Both of them, you know, think that they are doing what they think is best for the culture, though. So in those situations, I had two woke people, but usually we'll, you know, how we go extreme in our beliefs, we'll call the other person who don't agree with us the sleep one.
Yep. I think it's just all perspective, though. And that's just like, I don't know, just like religion, the same thing. Like everything, like you have so many churches in the black community, and it's always some probably mind. Oh, they don't believe that you supposed to be baptized. Go ahead, what they do, and now they in different cultures here.
Yeah.
But I think overall, the whole goal is to move our people forward, regardless of what cult or whatever you in. It's just like those are the ones who see life for what we consider what it is. Like, yo, don't damage what we got. Like, we want to move. If it's taking a step back where we already been, like, they ain't helping nobody.
Cause I heard the woke term, like I heard it shut down a lot of people too. You know what I'm saying? Cause there's some people that have whatever beliefs they have. Like some people like I'm a little hesitant to use, but I can't think of a better term. But like a little bit more extreme with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I guess we categorize them as extremists, brother. That woke,
right on,
extremists.
Right on. Yeah, man. It's like they like breathe and believe and don't go anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? It's like they understand history and they turn it into like an anger field kind of thing, right?
Oh, so I guess I can relate to that though.
Okay.
Because I was in a position like that. I think when I went to Ole Miss, that's when I really started to like become aware of who I was. And then I tried to like go back past history to try to understand. Because I think moving forward, you need to understand the past.
That's an interesting school though.
There's a very interesting school
right.
to do that at. And then I'm starting to see like, all the things that was happening in the news and things that were going on. And then for me to be in law school and we the ones advocate for people who are in bad situations like that. And then you see like your cultural people always in position, whether right or wrong, in cases. It's like, yo, like, the law ain't working in our benefit at all. Like, yo, what is going on? And there was one instance I was in a classroom. And of course, there's probably two of us, our culture people. And the other person would be considered like sleep. And I think I was mildly asleep at the time. I was kind of slowly becoming woke. And he was just like believing everything, like going along with what the professor was saying. I had to like go the opposite end. Like, no, that ain't right. It was like they was pretty much stereotyping some guy, and it was take that back. It was Colin Powell. He got pulled over by officers who didn't know who he was.
Like
didn't know
the Colin Powell, or before he was Colin Powell.
The Colin Powell when he was Colin Powell pulled him over, and it was like, yo, and it was a situation where he got into a little altercation with the officer, and he was just like crunching down on him for no reason at all. And then I think it was another guy who kind of came in like, yo, this is an upstanding citizen, brother, you playing around. But what Colin took from him, like, bro, I don't care if you like the most powerful individual it is, those stereotypes are still present, man. Like it's killing us. Instead of getting to know a person or whatever the case may be. And I'm like, yo, just for me, because I came in the first year dressed to the T every single day. And respect came from there. It's like, dress the way you want to be addressed. Like, oh, Leon, man, upstanding guy, boom, boom, boom. But regardless of what it is, if we're in a different scenario outside of the classroom, I'm still viewed as the black dude. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about your accolades and none of that. It's like, you still are a target, and you have to be aware of that. And like, don't ever think you too much that people like hold stuff against you. So it was just like, yo, I started crunching at them and trying to make them aware of my world. And of course, a lot of them didn't see it until like I broke it down. Like, yo, y'all see me here, and y'all would see me as not a threat or none of that. Like, you know, he a cool dude, but if you didn't know me, what would your perception be? And one girl was like actually honest, like, yeah, I see where you at. So we can like enlighten or bring light to anybody to see the world in a different perspective, man. I was like, hey,
there's a lot of lesson to prove what you just said, but the first one, just for our younger crowd, man, briefly describe who Colin Powell is.
Colin Powell?
Yeah, you know, we got a lot of listeners probably.
Nah, do that,
late night, early
I don't want to say Colin Powell short, man.
He a bad boy, man. You know what I'm saying? He was an army general, right? Rose to the ranks. I think he was he's like the highest ranking military official, like I don't remember which one it was, but he was like up there. I don't know if he was chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff or whatever he was, but he was like over the military. Then he ended up becoming Secretary of State under President Bush.
Right. Or
Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense. What? I don't know.
Don't sell him short, kid.
Yeah, one of them. They ain't really short. They like equivalent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but he was like one of those. Yeah. So he was like pretty powerful, like as a military service member, as well as like on the civilian side. He was in President Bush's cabinet and had a very strong possibility to become a president. He was the first black one, actually.
Facts.
But there was pre-President Obama. He had a very good chance of doing it. But yeah, man, you came on some good lessons, man. So one thing I pull out is, as I hear your story, I'm reminded of my own. I took on a personal thing myself. I went on this solo mission to try to normalize the culture, right? So I was like going beyond, and some people probably say this is a sleep me. And to them, screw 'em. That's how I feel, you know what I'm saying?
Keep sleeping.
I mean, of course, I've now grown past that, but it was a part of my growth, though, and my reason for it. Anyhow, I'm going to tell you what it was first, but I didn't do the dressing up because I understood that not everybody dressed up.
Right.
And the idea that I wanted to debunk was that just because I wear like the hip hop urban style of clothes,
right,
that doesn't make me a criminal. Like, that don't make me a person that's going to go after you or do something to you. So I would dress like how somebody that you'd be scared to probably say something to in the streets, but then I'm going to still hit you with all kind of personality, all kind of respect. Good stuff I was already raised and born with, so I wasn't faking nothing. But it was like there were times where I probably exaggerated just so you can kind of get the point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got the big headphones on, but I go fly first class just so I can sit down next to some people and talk to them, be like, you know what I'm saying? And show them, like, share a little intellect with them. Like, hey, man, it's like, you look beyond the clothes like I'm that, like we normal people. And hopefully because most people live from their level of experience, right? So they look at TV and they go off of what the media portrays us as, you know what I'm saying? But most of them don't even really get a chance to interact with those kind of people, right? So my whole idea was to give them the exposure they would need so that they could then accept, like the next time they see that, or when somebody say that this person was a good person and they were killed or something like that, like you can humanize that person. I guess that's in my essence of what sounds like humanizing this character that the media developed.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying?
We're not all the same.
Yeah, that is like, you got a few knuckleheads out there and I ain't gonna take nothing from them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's some knuckleheads out there. You know
on both sides of it.
Yeah, but like it's a culture. Like it's a culture that we represent, man. And not everybody is the same. There's gonna be some good, there's gonna be some bad, just like any other culture. Right. You know what I'm saying? There'll be some people that exploit it, some people make it better. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I was out there just really feel like I had a personal mission to really do that. This is like my first probably like 6 years in the military. This is what I had felt like I committed to. And I then I eventually just went beyond like trying to do that because I understood like I was just one man. Like maybe that wasn't my whole mission in life.
So I can relate to the normalizing thing because I thought that what I was doing, like I was like, okay, well, we all don't dress in baggy pants and all this image that you got of us. And I was like dressed to a T so I can feel accepted by those cultural people. But then I thought about it, and that's when that woke period I would say happened for me. Like, bro, why are you trying to be accepted by people? Like, you don't need nobody but the beliefs and truths you stand on. Like, that's it. Be you, whether you in jean, t-shirt, or suit, whatever. And that what kind of brought me to like, yo, you've been trying to like be accepted for so long. What point are you trying to prove?
That real.
And it's like, regardless, like people gonna have their own beliefs, their stereotypes, regardless of how you try to pressure them into believing what you want them to. So what are you doing? Yeah. And at that point, like, man, forget it. Like,
that's cool that you that conscious because I don't know if I was that conscious about mine. Like, so my first 4 to 6 years, that's what I was doing, and it just got to a point where I was just like on some, man, I'm me. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it wasn't like a straight up deliberate, like, let me stop doing all this stuff. I did think about it, like, bro, that's a heck of a mission to be taking. Somebody told me that, I think my dad told me, like, man, that's a huge mission to be taking on. Like, that ain't, like, you ain't gotta do that. Like, you ain't gotta be out here doing it.
Right.
And I think something that kind of like started to like pull me back a little bit. More subconscious though, and at this point, I had gained my confidence to be able to talk to any particular group. And it ain't just like us or them. It's like anybody.
Right.
Like I was able to now I can articulate my thoughts better. Like I can represent who I am, and I didn't have to exaggerate things no more. Right. Like I talk to them right. I can talk to anybody right now, just like how I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? And we have common beliefs, and we like mine in a lot of areas. You know what I'm saying? Right. But another good point that you mentioned is like actually explaining it to them. There's a lot of people that don't believe in the conversations. And that was one thing. cat's out of the bag now because they ain't gonna hold it back. This is the truth, right? The BLM movement.
Right.
One thing I ain't really, I didn't, it was a few things I didn't particularly like about that movie. One is I didn't really understand the true structure and the meaning behind it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I think overall, it was out to serve a good purpose, but you never really understood who was the head. I never personally understood who's the head of it and what was the objective.
Right.
Right? Like, we got the awareness, we got the attention. President Obama, who was sitting in the office at the time, number 44.
Shout out
President Obama. He was in the office. I mean, he was sitting in the office at that time. He organized the meeting. I don't know who the other people were, who represents the people that we supposed to sit down with.
But you know, it's a bad.
Yeah, man. But he organized a sit down with some of the BLM movement, Black Lives Matter movement people, to sit down and start discussing these subjects. It was my understanding before this happened that what was going on was lighting a feud to force the conversation. And here they were invited by the highest ranking office in America, and some will argue the world, in the presidential office. He invite them in to have that conversation. They turned them down because they didn't want to be seen as the Uncle Toms talking to people. This is a true story.
Wow.
Like, they didn't want to sit down with the people. And it was like, what's the point behind it? Like, what are you trying to do? You just like kind of kicking dust up.
Right.
Shout out to that country song. Kicking dust up. Yeah,
Never
man.
heard of it, bro.
So you got
you good.
Country, you know what I'm talking about? I mess with everybody.
Well, February, pro-black.
You know what I'm about. Yeah, man. But yeah, man, like, he invited them to it, man, and they turned it down, man. That part had kind of got me messed up. Like, it's still, I like the movement. I like that, you know, the people were organizing, they were voicing their opinions. A lot of frustration that was behind that, and 100% to get that, and I support that, and I support that they actually got out and did something. I kept my peace at the time because I wasn't offering nothing better. You know what I'm saying? Was nothing different, which was another reason why I started to focus on the things that I'm focusing on now. That was the thing that started me to where I feel like I'm tracking towards now. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of woke you up a bit.
Yeah, in a sense.
Like an internal thing.
I like to think I was woke before, but yeah, I'm dreaming while I'm woke. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
I can understand it.
I can see where I'm going.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But yeah, man, so going back to the other thing, I think having a conversation is extremely important. Like, I think that's extremely important because a lot of times, just like with a lot of situations, the lack of exposure to things where people are so ignorant. Because I've had like a lot of debates, man, all kinds of different sides of the aisle, and I will argue differently depending on who I'm talking to. Because I like to because if you're extreme in the culture movement, I'm gonna bring you into like think about it from the other people, like other perspective. I ain't gonna say other people because that trying to get rid of us and them thing, but that's what it is. Like, yeah, man, trying to get beyond that. So it's like explain it from their level, like, you know what I'm saying, and then vice versa. When I talk to others, it's like see it from my level. You know what I'm saying, and how I grew up. You know what I'm saying, like, and how all this stuff happened. And I like to think in those situations an exchange of ideas. So now they're able to see it because one of the things I feel like, at least in my history, is that people will jump the gun and have an understanding of something that they don't have an understanding about. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what it's like. A lot of people I talk to, they don't know what it's like to be a day, like one day of their life to be like growing up as African American.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, but they pick up their arms, they're like, we should stop doing this. Other people went through things. Like, what? That's the reason we should stop?
Right.
Like, that makes it okay. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you don't really quite understand the thing, but they pick up a stance and they go hard behind that stance, ignorant to what's going on. It happens vice versa too.
Right.
Like, we have an idea with every individual person outside of our race, what they think and what they believe, and we ain't never walked in their shoes. So what happens is two sides have their beliefs and ignorant toward the other ones, and everybody too stubborn to sit down and talk about it. Because all you really got to do is just iron out the differences.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't as simple as I'm saying it, but like you got to have that conversation.
True. So, but even with that conversation, like, what would really come out of that? Because I get it that these things are happening, and it's something got to happen. Like, I try to think of so many solutions on how this could change up, because it was a paper I did in law school. It was about how we can possibly lower the like cops beating on people, and we thought, hey, maybe the body cam will work. They beat people tails like with the body cam on. People recording the whole night. It doesn't change the fact. So it's like you can have these conversations in multiple conversations at a time, but until somebody is like willing to like actually listen, like I don't really see like a point being made. So I don't know, man. I'm still trying to figure this thing out too. Because why I say that? Because it's just like in politics. You got Democrat side, you got Republican side. They keep bickering back and forth on this, that, boom, boom, boom. At the end of the day, they gonna go home a Democrat, they're gonna go home a Republican, and they gonna keep living in their beliefs. So it's like, I think the thing that ties it all together, and I'm just speaking from like the personal relationships I had with so many different people, is respect. Respecting of like a culture. And I think respect goes a long way. Like, you can't sit here and debate with me about, oh, you should be a Buddhist, you should be a Muslim. My beliefs are firm. I'm an extremist when it comes to like to Christianity. You can't tell me God ain't real in my life. I know for me personally. So it's like you can't change or convert me over. But nor am I trying to do the same to you. I respect what you got going on. If that works for you, that works. That's like respect. So I think we need to respect each other as human beings instead of looking down on somebody or praising the person. It's just like, yo, like, nah, like, what is it that you're dealing with or whatever? I may not understand, but I see it's bothering you. Like, if it was anything I could do or whatever, I don't know, man. I just think, like, respect plays a major role in handling it. Because it's like you can keep preaching to the, what is it, the cow turned blue or something pops you say, something like that. I never got it, but he just say some kind of statement like that. You can preach to your face turn blue, that's what it is. I don't know where the cow came in from.
The cow jumped over the moon.
No, he got nothing to do with that. That's probably what it is, but he said you can keep preaching until your face turn blue, ain't nothing gonna change. So I just think like conversations are necessary at a point, but it's like I don't know, man. I'm still trying to think. Anybody got some suggestions how we can?
So my response to that is that, so a lot of times the conversations is not really across the aisle. One thing. Mm-hmm. The other thing is that the kind of conversation I'm talking about is too open-minded. You ain't gotta take away your beliefs, but relax your beliefs and actually have a conversation.
Right.
Because you come to the table with your mind already made up and what you believe in, it's pointless. And that's what we talk about with the Democrats and Republicans. Right. That's what we talk about with religion. Like in religion, you're not really ready to let that go.
Right. You
know what I'm saying? The religion, that's different than when we talking about the race thing. Right. You can relax your belief. Everybody human, man. Like at the end of the day, we all want to go home, man. Like that police officer want to go home. That dude walking down the street want to go home. They got pulled over want to go home. Trayvon Martin want to go home. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, you look at us from a human perspective, we all got the same thing, man. We want to just go home. We want to love. We want to live.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and you just got to kind of just take in them thoughts. Like, man, I just relax your belief and listen. Because that's all you really doing. You listening, man. The worst thing you going to do is find out, man, this person okay. Like, what exactly are we changing in your mind or your heart when we just trying to show you how, like
this
we concerned? Yeah, this is what we do.
This
is what's happening. Like, this is what we're facing.
Right.
Like, what's the worst that's going to come of that? Like, when we sharing with you, it's a conversation. And I just feel like you got to come to those conversations with relaxed beliefs, though. Because a lot of people coming with demands and they tell them, and they automatically it's combative, you know what I'm saying? And then it falls into political realms, which it has done. You know what I'm saying? Because like one person get up, which President Obama, he got up and expressed his support for one side, and all of a sudden it became a political thing, and now the opposite side naturally do what they got to do because they got their constituents and stuff like that. And now they got now everybody just yelling and talking, but nobody really listening.
Ain't nothing really big.
So it ain't really no conversation. It's just people just screaming out their beliefs and what they already know. Feel like they know.
It believe the loudest one gonna win.
Yeah. We end up being at a standstill, and sadly, we the one that lose out in them situations.
Yeah, I think just kind of be like open minded to what's really going. And I think it just along with the respect thing, that's why the golden rule is the golden rule. the golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated. I think that opens your mind up to accept. And what I mean by that is that, okay, I know what happens if I'm in that, like just scenario type. Like put yourself in that position. Like what happens if I'm being pulled over by a cop and he got his stereotypes about me? And I think if everybody kind of assess that and see it from that perspective, I think it changes everything. One situation that I look at, which really kind of opened the floodgates up for me, A Time to Kill, that movie. Like
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah. So the attorney advocated for that, man, you shouldn't do this, boom, boom, boom. You got an all white jury, like the whole nine. I think that storyline really show you how putting that person's situation in your life and how would that affect you and how would you think differently about it. He got off because what the attorney did at the end was told him, okay, all of these different things happened to this young man's daughter. He took vengeance on him because of what happened. So he laid out the storyline of what all happened, why he shot him, and all these different things. And at the end, he said, "What if she was white?" And now the jury like bawling, everybody in there like shocked, like, "Man, is he crazy?" But then you start to see the reality of it. It's a mirror image. What if that was your daughter? What would you do? And you take that perspective on, you're like, dang, I probably do the same thing. Or this would be the case. And until people are willing to treat people like they want to be treated, then, like, man, we shooting it down. Like, it's like, yo, figure that thing out. Like, that should be the way we approach everything on a day-to-day basis. Of course, we're going to have people who not doing that, and that's why they fall in the category they do. Like, you can't change everybody. Yeah. But if we can start with people, like, start to really evaluate themselves and live by that, then I think that's when kind of open up the conversation to be had and do things like that. Okay, well, I see where you at. I would do that if I was in your situation. Or even if you don't understand, like, if that happened to me, how would you react? If this was the case, what would you put out? All these kind of things. So I think that kind of like changed the perspective on people.
Yeah. That's good stuff, man. I think the conversation, man, really. But I also think another thing, the other thing, sometimes people do think about, they do it from how they want to be treated, right? But the two sides on different sides of the spectrum. So their perception is different. Because one of them is like, stop complaining, just get out here and get it. It's like, well, it ain't that easy. But from, one side is a little, if you get over, you just move past that thing and everything cool. It's like things in my life, or when, in that particular person's life. It's like, in my life, I just look past that and keep doing my thing. Then another one is like, it ain't quite that easy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. I mean, Jay-Z got a song related a little bit. Shout out to Hov, you know what I'm saying? Billionaire. Yeah, man. He got a song where he said, like, no matter what you do, they don't rap the song, but basically, no matter what you're doing, you still who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're like, whether you are, I can't say it when I say it, all this stuff, but everybody know the song OJ, the OJ song. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. But yeah, he's saying, man, no matter where you at, like, even with all his success, like, at the end of the day, people see you as who they see you as.
Right.
They have their blinders on, their glasses on, and how they see things. What I just want to invite people to do is try to see it from other people's perspective.
True.
So kind of like the opposite. I get what you're saying and the heart where you're coming from with it, but I feel like the opposite would probably hold better. You know what I'm saying? Like, instead of like how you want to be treated, look at what these people asking, like what they asking for. Is this unreasonable? What they asking for? You know what I'm saying? Like to see from their perspective.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And just put it in that category, man. Things, I think it just starting there, though, kind of open that whole platform for people to really start to like bring in the respect, bring in the compassion for people.
Yeah.
And I think at that moment, man, we can change the world. But I know, and I want to say this though, like speaking of like February, man, Black History Month, like what leader, public figure, dead or alive, that you've seen that like really changed the culture of our people moving forward, like progression? Like who do you see? Like, is that like who is that person for you?
Like what?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that like made it happen. But I'm saying like what person do you relate to most in the things that they've done and how that applies to what you do now? deep, ain't it, bro?
Yeah, because it's like it's so many.
Yeah.
It's hard to just say it without the other one because all of them tie together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Martin Luther King did his thing back in Mex. He had to fight in the game. You look at the Muhammad Ali, what he did was amazing. Like this dude was like talking about like a servant like mentality and like crazy. But then if I had to narrow it down, it'd be old President Barack Obama, man.
Oh.
When you talk about like that, I can relate to the most. Like I feel like it's him because, like with me, for one, you got to understand, and this is what I feel like President Obama excelled at. You got to understand, like you need everybody to complete this picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that us or them thing. Like it only gonna get you so far. Like progress ain't really gonna be made like that. President Obama ain't never quite said these things. But this is what I gathered from him. Just watch how he moved. And more importantly, how he moved.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Man just got swagger. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't be jocking no dude, man.
Cool guy.
Man, he just got swagger about him, man.
Cool guy.
He has like you could tell he's embedded in his, like, the big picture.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He understands, like, yeah, he had his place in American history. But he also know that there's other actors, other contributors. He know what he did ain't stopped nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, he know it was just a crucial step at that time, right. But it's still a lot of work to do. That's something he always said. They get it done and stuff. Like
right.
He always understood that there was more to it that you gotta get after. You know what I'm saying? And that he was just one piece of the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? I really just it gotta be Barry. Ain't nobody else but Barry.
What you call him, Barry?
I read his book. They call him Letters from My Father. I know him. You know what I'm saying?
It's just I kind of agree too, man. And I just think it's just like the manifestation of the dream. MLK had, man. Like everybody played a part into building like what we have now. Like so many people, black people, sacrificed their life, and it's on white too, sacrificed their life for the betterment of our people. Right. And I appreciate everybody who done that. And I don't know, man, just looking at him, and I had the opportunity to kind of like really like meet with this brother, talk to this brother over the phone when I was SGA president. And one thing you can't knock him on is his character. Mm-hmm. I don't care what you believe. Like I don't care what you believe, but a person to have that kind of stance and a love for his family. Mm-hmm.
Like he stand on what he believe in, but he also accept others. Like
yeah. And a lot of people like, yo, man, Christopher fed up when he, accepting what was happening, like just accepting people.
And our people were fed up because he wasn't like just doing it like he's American president. Like,
we got to look out for us.
Yeah,
it's just I get that we want to make our stands and move forward,
right?
But I like his character, man, stand out more than anything.
Yeah,
that's one thing that I took from him, and just like meeting his brother and just his concern, man. Like I can really sense people when they genuine and when they just like trying to sell you on stuff. Mm-hmm. But like the conversation we had over the phone and the 50, it was like 20, no, it was like 25 of us on the phone, and just how he laid it out to us, man. He was just like, aside from all this political thing or whatnot, this is what I'm looking at. And he started to lay out the different things. I ain't gonna go into the details about it, but it was just a powerful conversation we had. Mm-hmm. And just to kind of see like his love for family, his love for people, and just the things he did based on what others have like contributed to him becoming. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like it's a beautiful thing, man. Shout out to all of the black people who came before and just like make it possible for us now. Mm-hmm. I gotta give you a shout out for that, and it just means so much. We are forever indebted to you guys, man. And, man. We're forever indebted to you guys, man. It's just all love for real. Like this give us the strength to move forward, and what we gotta do on our end to keep pushing the agenda forward.
Yeah. And I think I like how you just said that forward, because I think we've leaned on Black history enough.
Right.
It's time to start talking about Black future, bro.
Right, yeah. Like what can we do? Like, yeah.
Right. We talk about the people before us. Yeah. But like, what we gonna do? You know what I'm saying? It's like taking that mental, like taking that personal, and you listen to Dr. Martin Luther King, a lot of his speeches, man. He was passing the baton.
True.
You know what I'm saying? It was like it's only so much he understood. There was only so much he could do. Just like I was talking about President Obama, there's only so much that he could do. He need you us, all of us,
Working together.
to work together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To complete what, like, he putting out the ideas, but we need like us to execute that thing.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying?
Fact.
Yeah, man.
So, man, we'll continue to work together, man, and keep, man, pressing forward, man. Yo, don't lose sight of the vision, man, that's been laid before us. Keep striving, man. And we'll keep it. We can go on and on about this conversation
Right.
here all day long. It's more than what we just said there. Don't fault us for our opinion. It's just how we feel at this present point. We ain't saying we right, but however, it's what it is.
Yeah.
It just come to it. But, hey, thanks for joining the conversation.
Yeah.